Put on this. All right. Hey guys, it's Mark here from the Data Science and AI Association of Australia. We've got the folks from Blazon that you will remember from Thursday when we did the talk on their capabilities tooling. So we've got Ray in the background, he's blurred. Thank you. We've got Jesse and Pranav here. I'm just going to show you in the room where the hackathon is actually going live. It's going to get loud, but let's just take a look. All right, hang on. Actually, before I do that, let me just get the background because I can see my background is blurred. Sorry, give me 1 sec. Video settings. One sec, folks. There we go. Okay, you're going to see the hackathon. So there's Ray there. You can see the hackathon going on here. So we got some cool teams going on here. Guys, this is Jesse and Pranav calling it from San Fran. You can see some teams like doing their stuff over there. There's a whole bunch more folks. This is the morning session. Jesse and Pranav from San Fran. Hey guys.
Oh, I love this.
Blazon.
There's so much energy.
All the teams. Someone even brought in their monitor. Freaking amazing. Some teams are early afternoon session, but you guys coming in. More teams.
Yeah, look at all these early birds.
And you can see the whole room. And then there's the organizers and stuff. So everyone is like hacking away, but because we're recording this, it's going to be made available later on. Hopefully that wasn't too loud, but please just go ahead and do the demo. And we'll get this out on the YouTube soon. I'll go on mute now. Thank you.
Great. So let me share my screen. You'll have to enable screen sharing, Mark. Or Ray.
Yeah, Mark will give you permissions for screen share.
Yep, doing it right now.
But maybe in the meantime, just introduce Blazon and so people who watch it back. Okay.
He's co-hosting.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So at Blazon, we're providing trusted and reliable software components that people can use to build more reliably on top of large language models. And one of our products is MultiFlow, which is sort of this low-code app builder that you can use to assemble things which are similar to the capabilities that we demonstrated a couple days ago. But these require no code at all whatsoever to assemble and to deploy, which means that it's a lot easier for people to just get started. So let me just start sharing my screen and show you what MultiFlow can do. All right, so so step one is that you'll want to go to flow.multi.tech. Now, the main product is still behind a waitlist, but we're going to allow special access for everyone who's participating in this hackathon. So, so we'll get your emails from Ray and Mark, later on, and we'll make sure that you have access right away, so you can try out everything that you see in this demo. But for now, though, I'm just going to show you guys some of the basics of what you can do inside of MultiFlow. So. The most basic interaction is you press this blank canvas, which is on the top left here, and this lets you create a new flow. Now, once you're inside this canvas, you have the ability to add blocks. So each block sort of represents what a programmer would think of as a function call. So it's a way to transform some kind of input into some kind of output. So the most basic kind of block is a text block. By default, it takes no input and only has an output. The output of a text block is, well, whatever text you put into it. So if you click on the field here, you can begin editing the inside of the text. So let's take the text of the Gettysburg Address to start with. Short and sweet. The text is not actually here. Oh, it is there. Great. So, so this is the full text of the Gettysburg Address. So as we can see, now that we have this text in here, we can pipe the value inside of this text block into another text block, like so. And the way that you do this is that you create an input to this text block by using some variable name, like input. And all you have to do is you wrap it in double brackets like so. And this creates an input port. And now if we pipe this over here, then we've assembled a very like rudimentary flow. Like all this does is it takes this text and places it into the next text block. But hopefully the point comes across here, which is that we've assembled our first basic flow. And we can begin to do much more sophisticated things than just put text boxes into text boxes, right? So for example, we can put some text like above this and turn this into an instruction. All right, so write a bullet pointed summary of the following text. Right, then we put something at the bottom to indicate that there should be some kind of output. And now what we've done is we've turned this into a prompt, right? So this is just something that you could show to a human and they would be able to complete, or you could show it to a language model. So how you access language models inside of MultiFlow is very frictionless. All you do is you add a text generator block. So this takes in some piece of text as a prompt and then outputs the output of the language model. So let's try this right now. So let's call this LM output. All right, so we're going to rerun this entire flow. So we started with the text of the Gettysburg Address. We transformed it into a prompt, and then we fed it into a language model, and this language model correctly followed the instructions. So it so it translated 7 years ago to 87 years ago. Captures most of the the main points, like pretty well actually. We can do a bit better. So we can say like paraphrase the text only and use complete sentences. Do not repeat the text verbatim. So you would want to do this, for example, if you want to like make sure that you're not plagiarizing from a piece of text. And so you can see now it follows the instructions, right? And it phrases into the third person, and now it's all in complete sentences. All right, so that just shows you the beginnings of what MultiFlow can do, right? Like now we have this flow, and if we think about it, it's really a function, and we can change the input of this to whatever we like, and then if we just run the entire thing over, we get a bullet pointed summary which paraphrases the text and uses complete sentences. So now we can take this and we can publish it. All right, so we can deploy it, which means that we can go access this through an API. So I'll show you guys more about that later. We can also go deploy this as a custom block, which means that we can call this thing like bullet pointed summary, right? And now we can import this inside of another flow. So let's try that. So now I'm going to make a brand new flow, which so now let's try something closer to what we were doing during the capabilities demo. So we have a web content extractor block. Let's just test if this is working. So if I enter a URL, it looks like this. And I run this. There we go. Got an advertisement for Bard. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go take a blog post. All right, so let's try Google Bard blog post. There's not too much text on here. Let's take it directly from the Google blog. This is plenty of stuff. All right, so if I take this URL and I pipe it into the web content extractor, we should be able to get the full plain text. There we go. We got the full plain text of that entire article. All right, so that's really helpful if like you're working somewhere and you just have to grab some content from the web really quickly and then go back to whatever you were doing inside of your program.
Yeah, that's so useful because normally you have to use like beautiful soup or like go through the HTML schema just to get that text. So to have that immediately, just 2 boxes, that's so useful. Yeah.
yeah, now it's painless, right? And you can use all the other stuff that you have through custom blocks. So these are all of my custom blocks, and you can see the ones that I just made, which is a bullet pointed summary. So this one encapsulates the previous flow, but it abstracts away the argument. So now I can just run that entire flow on the output of this block, and I'll get myself a bullet pointed summary as long as the context window is like under the limit. So let's try that. So now we're rerunning the entire thing from scratch. We've got the web content. Oh, and it came back with a bullet pointed summary right away. So we can see that we now have a summary of this blog post. So Sundar Pichai reoriented the company. Bard's focusing on developers. They're building chatbots, and like there's some boilerplate about AI safety at the end. So all right, so now I'm going to show you guys what else you can do. So now that we have this really cool flow, right? So like what's happening here? So it takes in any URL, it extracts the content and produces a bullet pointed summary. So this is a website summary flow. All right, let's call that website summary. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys something cool. So I'm going to show you guys how to use this inside of your code. So what I'm going to do is, one second. Great. So I'm going to create a test file right here. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to pip install multiflow-python. So this gets the Python SDK for MultiFlow. All right, so I already have it installed. So all you have to do is you type import MultiFlow. Okay. And now you want to do multiflow.workflow. And all you have to do now is you click on deploy, and you have an API key and you have a flow ID. So your API key is something that you should set as your your environment variable, and then your flow ID is something which you'll have to copy and paste, and that's how you can access your flow. So now I can do this. Right, so this is the workflow. All right, so and now you can just do w.run, and the arguments are precisely these input tags in order. So for example, let's create a variation of this, right? So let's take a text box, and now we're going to create a prompt for rewriting something in a certain style. So rewrite the following text in the style of style. Okay. So we're just telling it that there's an input and an output. So we're going to take this and pipe it as the input, and then we're going to create one more argument here for the style. So let's do pirate style. So now we've specified the style, and we should get a bullet pointed summary in the style of pirates. Let me just check that that makes sense. There we go. So so now let's try this again on another blog post. So let's try the so let's try the Mosaic ML MPT models. Hopefully we can grab this. So these are a new line of models that was released by Mosaic very recently, and they're very, very competitive. So let's just grab this, and then let's try running this. So the first argument is the URL of the blog post, and the second argument is the style. And let me try doing this in like cowboy Southern accent. Okay, and so the structure of the outputs is a dictionary with outputs, as a list of the outputs. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the outputs, and then we're going to grab the the last member of that list. So this is going to be the stylized summary. And then we just print the stylized summary. Okay, so this is a very simple invocation of our workflow, but it's very easy to just call it from your code. So there's this very simple development style. You can just build things here. You can deploy instantly to a workflow in your code. And then you can just keep building apps as quickly as possible while being able to trust in these components right here. So let's give this a whirl. So we're gonna just try running this test script here. Unfortunately, this did not work. Let me try running that again. Oops. Okay. All right, well, so we might be having some technical issues on the back end, but we'll get this all fixed up as soon as we get all of you whitelisted. Hopefully you guys can appreciate some of the power of the tools that you've seen today. Thanks for your attention.
All right. Yeah, fantastic. Right. Thanks very much. Fantastic. Thank you so much for all of that. We've got the recording. We're going to get it on the YouTube pretty soon. And when you do have that last little part working, I'm sure it'll work when everyone's whitelisted, but we can do another session just to tack on and show how that last part works. But we really appreciate your time. We'll close up now. And as you can kind of see there in the background, there's a whole heap of madness going on. So yeah, we're going to push for people to start using this. I certainly want to as well, especially from the Thursday talk. Just have had zero time, to sit down and actually go through it all. But I'm sure we'll do some more talks soon. So amazing work what you guys are doing.
Yeah, no worries at all. You guys are doing great.
Stuff. Anything from you, Ray?
No, thanks, Jesse. Thanks, Pranav. That was a really good demo. And personally, I've used MultiFlow before. It's a great way to really experiment and quickly just test out any automation workflow ideas that you want without having to start up new files, download a lot of stuff, and do a lot of coding. Just drag and drop real quick just to validate your ideas. And if you want to go ahead, the API function is definitely really helpful to integrate it into other systems. So definitely a very useful tool for like students, professionals, whatever. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback.
Jesse, Pranav, thank you so much for all of that, and we'll talk more soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Great. All right. Catch you guys later.